Hey, I'm Daniel Ausbun we're at Broadway Baptist Church here in Lexington, and I have the joy and honor of talking to one of our wonderful church members here, faithful member, Mr. Glenn Dawson, who is actually recently just joined the Conference of Southern Baptist Evangelists. God's certainly been working and certainly has worked in his life. So I want to take some time to do an interview, ask Glenn some questions for letting our audience know, letting folks know his story and what the Lord's doing. Glenn, we're glad you'll be able to be here today. You'll stop by the office. So tell us about your past. What's the Lord been doing leading us up to this point?
Thank you, Daniel, for doing this today. And I'll put this on YouTube and on the blog, and to give people a chance to see what's going on. I started in the ministry. I felt a call to something I really didn't know what it was, just searching. I started working in a bus ministry back in Austin, Texas, in the late 70s, and was very active in the bus ministry with them. And then I actually preached a little while for the children's worship service there. And then I got opportunities to go places and explain that ministry to other churches and help people establish that in other churches for a while. And really, all my life, God had put music on my heart. Music was what I could do. I majored in music at the University of Kentucky and got a certificate of woodwind instruction. But I had to eat to make a living, so I went to work for IBM, and I worked for them for 30 years, and I was bivocational in this work down there. And I joined the Conference of Southern Baptist Evangelists and the Texas Baptist Evangelists, and through my local church there, I traveled all over the state of Texas and actually the whole southern part of the United States, and did music programs, and speckled it with magic tricks. I did magic tricks and some ventriloquism. I took a course in Mayor School of ventriloquism and got interested real big time in doing that. And then I got sick. I tell that story. I went to, my son had an 18-month battle with cancer. And I watched that young man go from a strong man, big man, to skin and bones, and finally took him. And it had absolutely devastated me. And I went to the funeral. This was after I had moved to Kentucky, and I went down to Texas to bury him. And on the way down there, my immune system dropped so low I contracted a septic meningococcal infection, which is call it meningitis B today. But it was an infection in my ears that I got when I was, you remember when you're little babies, you get earaches. It was that same infection. It got in my bloodstream and it attacked me. It almost killed me. It gave me a 20% chance to live down there. And God brought me through that, and he used that to convict me of some things I needed to change in my life.
Now, how many years ago was this?
This was 10 years ago. And it took me 8 years to get over that. And I couldn't pick up and carry all the equipment around and actually go do the ministry anymore. And I'm just now getting to where I can do that again. I love it. I love doing it. So we're looking forward now to getting involved in churches again, going out and sharing the gospel, sharing the good news of Jesus. Well, I have a hunger for souls. There are so many. Just look around you. There's so much sin, and there's so much heartache and trouble caused by sin. People live such a terrible life, and everybody tries to put on a really good face and everything, but sin is destroying America. It destroys lives. And only Jesus is the answer to that. And I want to take that to as many people as I can, anywhere I can. I have a personal witness. I have carried tracts. I share Jesus with everybody that'll listen, and that's what my heart is, and that's what I want to get going again. Now I'm in the training phase at the moment. I'm finishing up the Billy Graham evangelism
that's wonderful.
curriculum, and I've enrolled in some advanced courses in ventriloquism with specific emphasis on script writing and showmanship.
Yeah.
And so I want to be the very best I can be. So at the moment I'm training through those things. I'm also enrolled in personal courses on personal lessons with clarinet mentors online. So that's what I'm doing right now, just putting the ministry together again.
So is this something that you were doing, and basically because of your son's death or your sickness, you took a break, and now God's rekindled that passion?
That's absolutely right. Actually, and I'll just share something as a something in a confession mode. When I came to Texas, I felt when I came from Texas to Kentucky, I moved. Let me share that I moved back here to Kentucky from Texas in order to take care of my mom and daddy who were aging. My dad had Alzheimer's, and we took care of him till he passed. Now I'm still kind of caring for Mama. I have a brother who's also helping me with that. And lost my train of thought.
You were talking about your caring for your mother.
Yeah. Oh, so when I came from Texas back to Kentucky, for that to take care of my mama and my daddy, I thought I'd just continue on the ministry when I got here. And I thought God would just pick me up, move me. I knew God wanted me to come and do this. The Lord's, the same Lord here as He was in Texas. I'll just go to Kentucky and continue on right there. Yeah, it didn't work that way. People here didn't know me.
Yeah, you didn't have the connections.
And people here not only did not know me, they had no idea who I was, and didn't know me from Adam. And so getting started was difficult, and it was discouraging. It was very discouraging for me. And I ended up taking a job in Frankfort, Kentucky, at a family show down there for 4 years, playing the saxophone in a country band down there at the Country Place Jamboree. I did that, and it was there that my son contracted cancer. I got a phone call from him one night when I was in practice there. And my son was in tears, and he said, "Dad, I've got cancer." Devastating thing to hear. And of course, things just got worse from there. Needless to say, the Lord got my attention. He didn't want me to quit. He just wanted me to go to work again. And now that I can, now that my strength is coming back, that's what I want to do.
That's great. So right now, relaunching your ministry, where are you at right now? Here, we're wrapping up here 2017. Like, what do you see going into the new year, 2018?
Well, I hope in 2018 I'll have something ready for, I believe I will. The Lord has given me all kinds of wonderful instruments to play. And so I want to focus my work on music, because first and foremost, I'm an instrumental musician. I do sing a little bit. As long as people can stand it, I can too. So, and also for the spoken word, I use ventriloquism. And it's an adult kind of program usually, but I can work with kids too. Also, I have a trailer full of illusions that I want to get out and work with and get started going on.
I know just a couple of weeks ago you had an opportunity in your Sunday school class to do an event with them. So looking ahead, if I wanted to, as a pastor or a music minister, if I wanted to book you, like would it, or when do you see doors opening for that? Is it going to be in the winter, spring 2018?
Yeah, it'll be in the probably the first quarter of 2018. I'm really working hard to do it, to get that going. It's a big job.
Oh yeah, it is.
After my illness, I couldn't move during my illness, and I had to relearn to eat. I had to relearn to walk and everything, and I had terrible arthritis. I have a pain pump I wear now that helps me with that, and so I had to relearn to play everything. Of course, it'd come back a lot quicker than someone who had never done it, but I did have to relearn it. So it's been a big task.
Yeah. Now, your lovely wife Linda is involved in your ministry. How does she help serve?
Oh, she's the backbone. Linda helps me. She helps me in my studies. She helps me in putting the program together. She does the flannelgraph. We have a flannelgraph board that she works with, and I usually tell a story, or maybe I'll use one of the event figures to tell a story, and she'll bring the flannelgraph material up. She also runs the sound equipment, and I have a lot of electronic stuff that I use, and she runs all that, and she helps me with my music, putting it together too.
Yep. So you're a traveling show.
Okay. That we're wannabe traveling show.
Soon to be traveling show. With the ministry, do you have? I know your wife Linda certainly plays a big part, but does anyone else help?
I have a pianist, Gail Hurd, who is an exceptional pianist, a wonderful musician. She has a doctorate's degree. She's a teacher here. She works with the colleges, and she's a wonderful, wonderful musician. And she's agreed to come work with Forgiven, the group Forgiven, in the musical area. And she's a precious saint of God.
Amen. Well, that's wonderful. So it's certainly a blessing when y'all go out and do ministry and travel, to have a wonderful help and support like that.
It certainly is.
And I think Gail, her father, is a renowned pastor here in the area.
Yes, he's on staff here at Broadway, as a matter of fact.
And it's Brother Jim Hurd, so he is, I guess, a legend here in Lexington. Many people know him, for sure. So
when Brother Hurd prays with you, you know you've approached the throne of God.
Amen. That's certainly true. So wonderful. Well, Glenn, I'm excited, and I think it's exciting to see God raise up. Well, He's given the gift of evangelists there, Ephesians chapter 4, to men and women here, and raises up folks in the church to certainly advance the gospel. And Glenn Dawson's certainly one of them. So, I hope pastors and ministry leaders here in Kentucky and throughout the U.S., prayerfully consider inviting you for a revival, a service, special service, a Sunday school event, whatever, any type of gospel advance. They could certainly share the gospel.
I'd consider it an opportunity and a joy and a privilege to be able to do that.
Amen. Well, thank you so much, Glenn. I appreciate you coming, shooting our video invite.
All right. Thank you very much, Daniel.
Glenn.
Thanks for talking with me.
All right. You too.